Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, it's all about time. You think of a clock, you think of a pendulum, and you think tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. The time is running out. And today we're looking at a game called Tick Tock, but it's spelled T-A-L-K, because you're racing against the time, but you're gonna be talking and trying to get people to answer words that another team came up with. It's a very traditional style party game that you probably might even find in a mass market store. From 4 to 10 players, takes about, it says 30 minutes on the box. It really takes closer to 15 minutes, 15 to 20. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. Now this is a party game for 2 teams. You need at least 4 players, but it can be played up to 10 players. Each player is going to take a clock, a timer of either purple or orange, and they're going to write their team color on the top of their sheet. So here we have orange. And one person in the game is going to roll all these dice, and they're going to announce, each team has one writer, and that they're going to announce these letters in the color. So they would yell out, red is P, and so the person would find the red block and put P. Purple is C. Yellow is A, green is N, and blue is K, and then they would say go. Now, I want to show you that each of these is different. Look at this, purple, red, blue, yellow, green. Green, yellow, blue, purple, red. Each one of these is different, so the 2 teams that are writing are always going to have them in the different spots, but they're always first letter twice, second letter twice, and third letter once. The shape is the same, but the colors are always different, and that's important. So once they do that, we would get ready to start this round. In this case, we would make sure that the timer is all the way down. So in this case, we have the time all the way down to the bottom of the orange timer. So what's gonna happen is both teams simultaneously, the orange player has his with his timer in front of them, the purple team would have theirs with theirs in front of them. And right after the last letter has been called, so you don't have time to think about it, they'd say go, and they'd flip this over, and you'll notice that this has a writing utensil on it. So you flip it over and you'd say go, and this person would go, percent. Now this, you could write 1 or 2 words. Accent. Nada. You do 1 or 2 words. Inner space. And as soon as I'm done, I would do that like that, and I would keep it there, and we'd wait for the other team to finish. Now the writers from this orange team can be whispering to this person's ear and helping them figure out words to do this. And so when they're done, they're going to take this off. And what they're going to do is the writer of the orange team is going to hand this secretly to the writer of the purple team. That player is going to look at this and make sure they can actually read everything. If not, they will secretly and quietly make sure they understand them both. So then the purple team is going to have the orange sheet, and the orange team is going to have the purple sheet. We then at that point, at one team at a time, they're going to try to get them to guess. So the purple team is going to try to get their team to answer or get these words that the orange team wrote. But the trick is when they guess, this is floating back up to the guess side. Now when we wrote, the right side was up, we flipped it down. When the purple team guesses the orange team's words, this gets flipped to the guess side. So what happens is they only have as much time to get these words as orange took to write them. So the key is, can you write hard words to guess fast? Sometimes you can just do easy words real fast. Sometimes you can do really hard words long. But sometimes the best is to do both. Try to think of some hard words as fast as possible. So this would flip over, and they can do it in any order. So again, the purple player would be trying to get their team to guess orange's words using however much time orange has left. So, and they can go in any order, and they're just yelling it out. They're doing anything they want. They can't say rhymes what their sounds like, but essentially they're going on their own and trying to get their entire team, anyone from there, to guess. So it might go something like this. Oh, I have a silly France accent. Yes. This is divide something by 100, and it's a blank. It's a little symbol. It's 1 divided by 10 is... Okay, and then maybe they say, hey, pretend. Oh, this is not mustard, but ketchup. This is a city in Spain. It's also a game that's kind of like Alhambra. Oh, Granada. Okay, go there. It's not outer, but inner. Not the, and the time had just gone out. So at the end of this, the purple team was guessing. So the purple team would get 1, 2, 3, 4 points. The orange team would get 1 point because they did not get those. And then the other team would do the same thing. The purple team would pass theirs to the orange team. The orange team would try to guess their purple teams with however much time the purple team had left. At the end of that, you just calculate out the points, and you can keep track of them here as to how many each team got. I like to just keep it on a one sheet here to keep track of what everyone does. But essentially, whatever points that person gets, they get. Any points that they did not get, the other team gets. That's pretty much it. You do that for 5 rounds of this. So everybody's going to get 5 rounds to do this, and at the end, whoever has the most points is the winner. All right, there's TikTok. Now, as it goes, this is, as I said, a traditional style party game. I went on a business trip last week, and I brought this, and I was bringing a ton of games, and so I take it out of the box, and I brought just the components, and I only brought enough paper to play 2 full rounds of this game, because I brought so many other games, I didn't think we'd want to play it more than twice. Well, we played a bunch of games, and everybody really liked it. It's a very casual setting. People there didn't really play a lot of games, but people really enjoyed this a lot because you get the team versus team. You've got one player doing the writing, but other people can help them. And then when it goes the other side and you're trying to guess it, it's one person trying to get everyone to guess it. And it's really brilliant, the whole way that timer works. Where you flip your timer, you're trying to go as fast. It's like such a balance. And we've seen different strategies work. We've seen me, who just goes as fast as they can, boom, in like 7 seconds I've got it done, but they're really easy words, right? And we've seen that turn out okay and not so okay. And then we saw somebody who thought up like these ridiculous long hard words that nobody even knew what they were, but it took them almost the entire time, and we've seen that work for them and not as well. So different strategies, and I just seem to find that like it's fun to kind of mix with that, and everyone's gonna have a different personality. Somebody might want to go for the quick words, someone might want to go for the long words, someone might want to go for somewhat difficult words but as fast as possible. And I like that about this, that it gives you that option. And they kind of give you different results in different situations. So overall, the game's actually a lot of fun. For a traditional party game, I'm actually keeping this in my collection because I don't have anything quite like it. And just to see the reaction of how much a casual setting this excelled, I'm going to keep this. Now, I do have a few things to warn you about with the game. The last thing I really love is the way that the pad has different colors on every one, so it's always different. That's really cool too. Okay, the things I didn't like about the game. There's a couple of weird things that happens in the game that if you have someone that knows the game really well and they're there and they're running the game, you won't have to worry about this. But if you're going to be the one running the game and you're going to bring this to the group, you need to know about this. So when you're playing the game, it has you keep score on the pads, up top. And it can get very confusing at times because it's like, okay, the orange team was writing and they had their orange timer. Then we flip it down to the side. Then we swap papers. And then the guy who's getting ready, the purple team, looks at this pad and it says orange at the top. Okay, so that means he's got to turn over the orange timer. Okay, that makes sense. Sometimes that can get confusing too, but once you get that, okay, that's the timer that you do. Then it gets down to the scoring, and it's like, okay, well, we got 3 right, okay, and I'm looking at the orange sheet, and I've got 3 check marks, but the purple team's the one that got 3. So on the other sheet, you who have it, you have the purple sheet, you check 3 and I'll check 2. And then when the other people do it, you do that. It can get very confusing and you can really mix up the scoring in that way. And then the directions say to keep all those, and then you just add up all the check marks at the end. And I found this to be just a mess. And it really gets really confusing a lot, especially it's a party game. People are loud, obnoxious, they're making loud noise, people are laughing, and it's really hard. It's so easy to just like get confused and swap things out and just be completely messed up on the score. Granted, it's a party game, so who really cares about the score, but I found people actually being pretty competitive when it usually gets down to the last wire. The games are usually close. So what I recommend with this game is don't worry about taking the score at the top. Essentially have one person who's running the game who has a piece of paper, maybe the back of one of these from a previous game. You have the 2 team names, and when that team, purple, who's guessing on the orange sheet gets 3 points, they just write purple 3, orange 2. On the other team, maybe orange gets 4, they go orange 4, well, purple must have had 1, because it's always an equal of 5. And if you have one person running it, and you don't have to worry about passing things back and forth and asking how much did you get, and you took this, you put 3 there, and I'll put 2 here, if you get rid of that, it's a really fun game. So I don't avoid this game because of the quirkiness of going back and forth and keeping track of the scoring, because the game's a ton of fun. Just know that you're gonna have to have one person that kind of knows what they're doing and keeping score. After that, it's a lot of fun. That's TikTok. So I'm gonna try something new here. Anytime I have a game, and I'm gonna keep it in my collection, which doesn't happen very often anymore. You may not know that I'm also a saxophone player, music producer, and do a lot of things around music. So I thought in a creative, a personal way, I'd like to give a sort of an exclamation point when I am going to keep a game, and we're just going to call it the Game Boy Geeks Jam. And I'll do this on my saxophone anytime I keep a game. Here's one for this one.